Before we jump into the features, here's something I want you to understand about why this update matters beyond just the feature list itself. The Antigravity A1 is not a new drone. It's been out for a while, and in a market where companies constantly chase headlines by releasing brand new hardware every few months, the fact that Antigravity is investing this deeply into improving an existing product through software, that says something. That tells you that the people building this drone actually care about the people who bought it. And the timing here is not accidental. The DJI Avata360 just dropped, and the internet is buzzing with comparisons. Reviewers are placing these two drones side by side, and in most of those videos, the A1 is being framed as the older, slightly outdated option. I want to challenge that narrative today, because after spending time with this new firmware, I genuinely believe the A1 is not just keeping up. In several important ways, it's pulling ahead. Here's what we're covering today. 7 new features broken down one by one, what each one actually means for your flying and filming experience, and then a real, honest comparison between the A1 and the Avata360 that goes beyond spec sheets and price tags. Grab a coffee. This one's worth your full attention. Full 360-degree obstacle avoidance. Let's start with the one that, for me, should have every A1 owner genuinely excited. Full 360-degree obstacle avoidance. Here's the situation before this update. The A1 had obstacle avoidance, yes, but only facing forward and downward. That meant if something was coming at you from the side, from above, or anywhere the physical sensors weren't pointing, the drone had no idea it was there. Now, to be fair, I personally didn't find this to be a catastrophic limitation. The A1 can't fly backward, so the rear exposure was less of a daily concern. And if you're flying with even a basic level of awareness, you can manage lateral threats. But here's the thing, drone crashes don't always happen because you made a reckless decision. Sometimes it's a gust of wind that nudges the drone sideways into a branch you didn't even see. Sometimes it's a slight miscalculation in a tight space. And when a propeller clips something, anything, at speed, the result isn't a soft landing. It's a spiral. It's damage. It's potentially a lost drone. The new full coverage obstacle avoidance eliminates that anxiety. And here's the clever part. Since the A1 doesn't have physical sensors covering every angle, anti-gravity solved the problem using what was already there, the 360-degree camera itself. The drone's own imaging system now actively analyzes the live footage for obstacles in all directions and responds accordingly. It's smart engineering. It turns what was already the drone's defining feature into a safety system as well. This is one of those upgrades that you won't think about until the day it saves your drone, and on that day, you'll be very glad it's there. Obstacle bypass / auto-detour. Now, this next feature builds directly on the first one, and in some ways, it's even more exciting from a creative standpoint. Previously, when the A1 detected an obstacle in its path, it did the safe thing. It stopped. It just hovered in place and waited for you to make a decision, which is fine. That's better than flying straight into a wall. But it also meant that if you were in the middle of a carefully planned shot, gliding toward a subject, building up momentum for a cinematic approach, a sudden hard stop would completely ruin the clip. You'd have to stop recording, back off, reposition, and try again. Anyone who's done serious aerial filming knows how frustrating that is. The new bypass feature changes that completely. When you switch it on, the A1 no longer stops when it detects an obstacle. Instead, it calculates a path around it and continues flying, smoothly, automatically, without any input from you. The drone handles the detour and carries on toward its destination. Think about what that means in practice. You're flying toward a subject, maybe threading through a tree line, maybe approaching a building for a dramatic reveal shot. An obstacle appears. In the old firmware, that shot is dead. With the new firmware, the drone smoothly arcs around whatever is in the way and continues the movement. Your shot lives. Your creative vision stays intact. This is a feature that was notably absent from the A1 when compared to other drones on the market. The fact that it's here now, and that it works through the same intelligent camera-based system, makes it one of the most meaningful additions in this entire update. Voice command control. Alright, I want to talk about a feature that when I first heard about it, I thought was going to be a gimmick. And then I actually used it, and I changed my mind completely. Voice commands are now live on the A1. Now before you roll your eyes, hear me out, because the way this is implemented is genuinely practical. You're not going to be having full conversations with your drone, but what you can do with your voice is this. Take off, return to home, start and stop recording. Take a photo, switch flight modes, activate obstacle avoidance, change your viewing mode, and trigger advanced advanced AI features like Deep Track, SkyPath, and Sky Genie. That list is more powerful than it sounds. Here's why. When you're in the middle of a flight, especially an immersive FPV experience, your attention and your hands are completely occupied. The controller is in your hands, your eyes are locked on the screen, and you're making constant micro adjustments. Now, imagine needing to change your flight mode or activate Deep Track because your subject just started moving. Without voice commands, you have to navigate a menu, mid-flight, mid-shot, while trying to maintain position and composure. That's a lot of simultaneous cognitive load. With voice commands, you just say it. Start recording, activate Deep Track, return to home. The drone responds. Your hands never leave the controller. Your eyes never leave the screen. The shot continues uninterrupted. That's not a gimmick. That's a workflow improvement. And for solo creators shooting without a crew, that kind of hands-free control can make a genuine difference in the quality and consistency of what you capture. Third-person virtual cockpit view. Here's where things get genuinely fun and a little bit unexpected for a drone firmware update. The A1 has always had what's called the virtual cockpit. If you haven't used it, it's one of those features that sounds strange on paper but feels incredible in practice. Basically, the app overlays a virtual aircraft, a kite, a plane, your choice, onto the live drone footage. So instead of feeling like you're piloting a drone, you feel like you're actually flying. It's immersive in a way that's hard to describe until you've experienced it. Until this update, the virtual cockpit only operated in first-person view. You were looking out from the nose of the aircraft, which is already a really compelling perspective. But with the new update, you can now switch to third-person view, meaning the camera pulls back and you can actually see the virtual aircraft flying in front of you against the real-world backdrop captured by the drone's camera. Why does this matter? Because it transforms the experience from flight simulation to something that feels far more like a video game in the best possible way. Watching a virtual kite soar against actual footage of the sky, the trees, the landscape below, it's visually arresting, it's cinematic, it adds a layer of entertainment to the flying experience that goes well beyond data collection or pure footage capture. For content creators, this opens up genuinely interesting possibilities. For people who fly the A1 purely for the joy of it, this is the update you didn't know you were waiting for. Flight path skins, coins, and crystals. Now I'm going to tell you about a feature that made me laugh out loud when I first saw it, and then immediately made me want to go outside and fly. If you've used the A1's flight path feature before, you know the concept. You map out a route in the app, set your waypoints, and the drone flies the path autonomously while you focus on framing and capturing. It's a powerful creative tool. But the paths themselves have always been pretty utilitarian. Lines and markers on a screen. Functional, but not exactly exciting to look at. The new update changes that with custom skins for flight paths and path markers. You can now replace the standard waypoint markers with coins or crystals, actual glowing, stylized game-style collectibles sitting in real physical space, visualized through the drone's camera. And here's where it gets brilliant. You can now display the virtual cockpit simultaneously while flying a path. So you're watching your virtual kite soar through real-world space, flying the route you mapped out, collecting glowing crystals along the way. It looks like something out of a video game, but it's happening in your actual backyard, your local park, your favorite flying spot. I'll be completely honest. The first time I saw this, I thought it was frivolous. Cute, but frivolous. But then I thought about it from a different angle. What this feature actually does is make the practice of flying paths, which is an important skill for capturing consistent footage, genuinely engaging and fun. You want to fly the path again. You want to refine it. The gamification creates a feedback loop that makes you a better pilot without it feeling like practice. And yes, kids are going to absolutely lose their minds over this, which is not a criticism. That's a feature. Per marker camera angle control. This next feature is aimed directly at the serious filmmakers watching this video, the ones who use the A1 not just for fun, but as a professional creative tool. With the new firmware, you can now set a specific camera angle for each individual waypoint on a flight path, and between one waypoint and the next, the drone will automatically and smoothly interpolate the camera angle, transitioning fluidly from one position to the next without any jerky manual input from you. Let me explain why this is such a big deal. Yes, the A1 captures 360-degree footage, meaning in theory, you're recording in every direction simultaneously, and you can reframe in post-production. But reframing takes time. It takes skill. It means extra hours in an editing suite, adjusting keyframes, pulling camera angles, deciding where to look at any given moment of the clip. For a quick personal project, that's manageable. For a professional shoot with tight deadlines and multiple deliverables, it adds up fast. With per marker camera control, you're essentially doing your edit in the field. You're deciding in advance. At waypoint 1, I want to be looking this direction. At waypoint 3, I want a slow tilt down toward the subject. The drone executes those decisions automatically, and the footage you bring home is already structured the way you want it. Your post-production workflow shrinks dramatically. This is the kind of feature that professional drone operators will immediately understand the value of. It bridges the gap between automated flight and intentional crafted cinematography, and that's a gap that not many drones even attempt to close. Time-Lapse Mode plus revamped Auto-Edit AI. We're coming to the final 2 additions in this update, and I want to group them together because they're both about the same fundamental thing, making the footage you capture more valuable with less effort. First, Time-Lapse Mode. I'll be honest with you, time-lapse from a drone is one of those features that I used to overlook. The idea of a drone hovering in a fixed position while the world changes beneath it felt limiting compared to active flight. But here's what changes that calculation completely: a 360-degree camera. When you shoot a time-lapse with a standard drone camera, what you captured is what you got: a fixed frame, a fixed angle, a fixed story. But when you shoot a time-lapse with the A1's 360-degree camera, you're capturing everything simultaneously, every direction, every angle, which means in post-production you can animate the shot. You can start wide and slowly push toward a point of interest. You can pan across the horizon as the light changes. You can create the illusion of movement in a clip that was captured with a perfectly stationary drone. That is a genuinely different kind of creative tool, and the new update makes it even more powerful by enabling time-lapse in skypath mode, meaning the drone can be moving slowly along a programmed route while simultaneously capturing a time-lapse. The result is a clip with both temporal compression and spatial movement. That's not a feature, that's a cinematic superpower. Now, the revamped Auto-Edit AI. The A1's app has always had an auto-edit feature that could automatically cut and reframe your 360 footage into a shareable clip. The problem was that the AI wasn't specifically trained on aerial footage. It would apply camera movements and cuts that worked fine for ground-level content but felt awkward or overly aggressive when applied to footage captured from altitude. That changes with this update. The new auto-edit system has been trained specifically on aerial footage. The camera movements it applies are smoother, more intentional, and calibrated to the rhythms of flight rather than the rhythms of walking around on the ground. The sound design and music selection are also now optimized for aerial content. I tested it on some of my older recordings, and the difference in output quality is immediately noticeable. Clean cuts, graceful movements, no unnecessary shaking or whipping. For creators who want to share content quickly without spending 2 hours reframing and editing, this is a massive quality of life upgrade. Antigravity A1 versus Avata360. Okay, this is the section I've been building toward the entire video, and I want you to pay close attention because I've watched a lot of the comparison content floating around online, and there are some genuinely important things being missed. Let me start with the pricing conversation, because I think it's being misrepresented. You'll hear a lot of people say the Avata360 starts at $450, making it dramatically cheaper than the A1, and technically, that's true on paper. But here's what that $450 version doesn't come with: goggles. No controller, just the drone. And good luck finding that version in stock, because everywhere I checked, it was completely sold out. The combo that's actually available, with the budget goggles N3 and a motion controller, comes to $930. And I want to be very clear about what budget goggles means here. The goggles N3 are entry-level. They are not comparable in screen quality, field of view, or immersive experience to the vision goggles that ship with the A1. If you want the high-end DJI Goggles 3, which are the fair comparison point to the A1's vision goggles, that's an additional $500 on top of your $930. Now you're at $1,430 for a comparable setup. The A1 has been available for $1,280 with regular sales. And through the link in the description, you also get a free landing pad and an exclusive double lens pack worth $99. That's real value. The price gap, when you account for comparable accessories, is far smaller than most reviewers are suggesting. But here's the more important point, and this is the one I really want you to sit with. The Avata360 was not designed from the ground up as a 360-degree experience. DJI took an existing product ecosystem, and adapted it to support 360-degree capture. That's a legitimate engineering achievement, and it means the Avata360 has a huge advantage in terms of ecosystem compatibility. If you already own DJI controllers and accessories, it slots right in. But the A1 was born as a 360 drone. Every design decision, the form factor, the vision goggles, the software, the features, was made with 360-degree immersive flight as the primary objective. And the vision goggles reflect that. The field of view is significantly wider than the DJI Goggles 3. The immersion is not comparable. It's categorically different. Now, with this new firmware update, the A1 has matched the Avata360's obstacle avoidance approach, using the 360 camera to cover the angles that physical sensors don't reach. And the features that came alongside, voice commands, gamified paths, per-marker camera control, per-marker camera angles, improved AI editing. None of those are available on the Avata360. I don't say any of this to dismiss the Avata360. It's a strong product with real advantages, particularly that ecosystem compatibility and the ability to fly without goggles, which the A1 currently cannot do. That's a legitimate gap, and I hope Antigravity addresses it with a standalone controller option in the future. But the narrative that the A1 is the older, less capable option in this comparison, after this firmware update, I don't think that holds up. Final verdict. So here's where I land after spending real time with this update. The firmware drops on April 27th. If you already own an A1, update immediately. Do yourself a favor and use the Antigravity Sync desktop app for the update rather than doing it through the goggles. It's dramatically faster, it's more reliable, and it'll save you frustration. If you're currently deciding between the A1 and the Avata360, wait. I have a full, in-depth side-by-side comparison coming soon, and I want it to be something genuinely useful rather than just another surface-level spec comparison. I'll be doing real-world tests, real footage comparisons, and a complete breakdown of which drone is actually right for which type of flyer. If this video gave you something useful, if it changed how you think about the A1, or helped you make a more informed decision, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who care about this stuff, and it tells me that this kind of deep dive content is worth making more of. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time, because the Avata360 comparison is going to be one of the most thorough drone videos I've ever made. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.